Hello and welcome to another episode of Chronicles Nuzlocke. Does that sound nostalgic? Well, today we will go quickly through all the Chronicles, so get yourself a refreshing drink and listen well. You could have seen how I did in my previous 2 attempts, but long story short, I failed. So let's look into attempt number 3. First of all, these are the rules I went with. But to put it simply, you can either use a mix of story characters plus 4 customs, or 10 customs but no story ones. You may not change your weapons during a chronicle. Characters that fall in battle are forbidden from entering combat. You may not fortify structures you control. If you want to have a sword master, then you must defeat every enemy in all chronicles, otherwise you may ignore the special level 60s. If you rescue all the halties in Chronicle 8, then beginning with Chronicle 9 you gain 1 revive to bring any fallen warrior back to life. And finally, if all your warriors are defeated, the Nuzlocke is failed. Now then, let's see how the third run went. For my third run, I went with Kirkes' team. For the first few chronicles nothing much happened, except for me clearing all the chronicle missions in the second one apparently. Wasn't even trying for that. Well anyway, 4 question marks nearly killed Kirkes in the finale of the third, but we pulled through in the end. In the fourth, Astaroth, as expected, was pretty challenging and I nearly lost Kirkes as well. Astaroth has a weak AI assigned, but given the massive level difference, when he hits you, he hits hard. Next, I tried having Chikage defeat Dalkias in a field battle, but she was taking too much damage, so I assumed direct control. Oh, and after the Chronicle clear, I unlocked SoulCalibur and Vayakin. Neat. At the start of the 5th Chronicle, I changed Ambrose's weapon from Siko to Soul of Yoshimitsu, because I suck with Siko. Or I sick with Sako? Rather not. I have also changed Chikage's weapon to Kunai specifically to handle Ivy and Cervantes. During our assault, I have randomly found Royan in this tower. I have no idea when he moved there, but we have defeated him. Also, Chikage nearly perfected Ivy. You know, the Ivy that wiped out nearly my entire run number 2 squad. Yeah. Moving on, in the 6th Chronicle, I tried navigating all my infantry to handle all the advancing Dalkia in field battles. It didn't work. Furthermore, I have nearly lost Aloces to 2 Dalkias, Ambrose to Lupi, and Kirkes to Ella. Luckily, everyone survived. In the 7th universe, I have swapped Chikage's weapon back to Katana and Shuriken. I wanted her to appear more like her actual Chronicle version for a bit. During the fighting, Aloces effectively perfected Rock, and avenged Lupi from run number 2. And Kirkes died against Halpas. Oh yeah, that's our first death everyone, our boss is dead. I have once again changed Chikage to Kunais at the start of the 8th, because I do not trust myself enough to beat 4 Malettas using Katana and Shuriken, and she needs to do this to rescue Kennen. Also there is a bee printed out in the pathways. Eventually we rescued all the Halties and thus earned ourselves a revive. And Ambrose nearly died to Mooncalf, but she pushed through the pain and prevailed. I began the 9th with reviving Kirkes. Then Ambrose leveled up from fighting Marit in a field battle, and Chikage took on the whole class Rependo. She managed the first 4 growths just fine, but Lupi put up a tough fight. Lastly, Saizo is completely incapable of using the flames properly, the poor thing. In the 10th, Ambrose again leveled up in a field battle against Orox, then Aloces defeated Anaretta, but Chikage is the only one I chose to take care of the MILF and the Hila, and she won like a champ. Azumi later destroyed her mirror image. Aloces barely fended off the following wave of attackers, and Azumi fought off the 3rd. Then I sent Kirkes to fight Kirkes, and sadly, Kirkes fell in battle. The good one, not the bad one. And as always, Chester remains the most pathetic Chronicle boss. Also, I have unlocked Kaleidoscope and SoulCalibur. The 11th was a little more eventful than I expected, with Azumi dying to Eigei. Apparently the katana attack throws aren't actually attack throws. Aloces also nearly died to her, but managed to earn the victory. Fun fact, Ambrose keeps gripping her hand during this cutscene. She also perfected Luna, so that's neat. In Aurelia's Chronicle I have swapped Chikage's weapon again, but now that one of my elites died, I can scout someone I had my eye on for a long while. Venli. The bad thing is I need her to fight foes that are far stronger than she is, so that she can level up. The good thing is, she is doing very well. She did nearly die to Min Lian though. And apparently both Raziel and Jiuri were so intimidated by this level 1 legend that they completely stopped in their tracks and stopped heading for our base. I have absolutely no idea why, but Venli took them out promptly, and then died to Eunice. Sad. Finally, I had Chikage fight Aurelia. I don't know why. She did win though, so all is well with the world. At the start of the 13th, I hired Dracora, a Malachian prodigy recommended by Ambrose. Anyway, apparently Kirkes is not fast enough to assault a tent and entered into a field battle. Chronicle restart, here we go! On the second go, I hired Dracosef, a Malachian prodigy recommended by Aloces. Not being able to save on the party sortie screen is something the port should have addressed. And this time my foot soldiers were fast enough to outrun the same horse. I swear, man. Moving on, Draco defeated Maxi, Kilik, and Shangha all on her own. In the 14th, nothing much happened, but in the 15th Draco died to Yoshimitsu. Then Aloces swooped in and avenged her perfectly. And then he died to Shirado and was avenged by Chikage. I don't like the mortality rate of my warriors. Upon entering the nightmare known as the 16th Chronicle, Chikage went back to using kunais. This Chronicle is the most difficult challenge in the whole story. Yep, not number 20, 16. And this is also the Chronicle I feared the most in all of my attempts. Anyway, despite Ambrose being in perfect health, I opted for having Chikage defeat Yukina because I need Ambrose to destroy the Death Tower and can't risk her falling before she even enters it. To make matters worse, Yukina deals far too much damage in the field battle, so I had to assume direct control over Chikage. Luckily, she effectively perfected her. Attacking Konomi's tower lured over Irene, but she was also too powerful in a field battle, so we took it up nice and personal. I was quite worried once we started attacking Konomi's tower for real, knowing there wasn't much else to do, and my worries were nearly proved right when Ambrose just barely defeated her. But now, there are no more enemies left on the map, except for Kagami himself and the mythical Death Tower. Additionally, seeing how greatly she was impacted by Konomi's stage effect, I am no longer confident Ambrose can handle Yonsong and Talim. Well, nothing to it but to do it.
Battle 1, fight! Battle 2, fight! Ring out! Fight! Final battle, fight!
Chikage destroyed the Death Tower. That's my girl. Woohoo! Chikage died to Kagami. My whole team was wiped out, meaning the Chronicle must be restarted. For my second attempt, I convinced Yakumo and Hila himself to join me, and they both died to Zasano. For my third attempt, I recruited Noel directly from the Emperor's Resentment, whom I had a friendly conversation with in the previous casual run of the Chronicles. I always had a feeling we were on a similar wavelength, he and I and we are going to prove it to the world. Noel died to Meilan. That's every single playable character dead. This run is thus failed. On a side note, in this chronicle I have lost over half of all of my warriors. Let's move on to attempt number 4, where I went with Aurelia's posse as my team. I will quickly sum up how they did while we are just retracing past steps. In Chronicle 5, Aurelia died to Cervantes and was avenged by Areon. In Chronicle 7, I observed some strange movement near Rock, and then Areon died to Rock, but Leland avenged him. Also that one notorious Haltese that always enters Halpas's tower left for some reason? I have never seen that happen. Also Rohan died to Juno and Leland was the Avenger again. In the 8th, the Avenger died to Setska and was avenged by Min Lien. Then Rhea died to Mooncalf and Min Lien picked up her slack, but sadly I lost the footage for this one. In the 9th, nothing much happened besides me using my revive on Aurelia. But in the following chronicle, I send Eunice to defeat Kirkes, despite being just level 2, because I will need her to take down Girardeau in Chronicle 15. She won successfully. In the 11th, Eunice nearly died to Agay, but other than that it was pretty uneventful. Aurelia's chronicle, on the other hand, had quite a few happenings. I tried having Aurelia handle the base defenses while my other people went after Raphael, however the advancing Dalkia went after those people instead. Yet again, something I have never seen happen before. Then Min Lien nearly died to Giuri, but did far better against Raziel. Aurelia nearly died to Kirkes, and I sent Iris level 1 to defeat Raphael. Now you might think sending a level 1 after level 60 is not the brightest strategy, but to that I say... Then all Iris, Eunice, and Aurelia perfected their mirror images and the chronicle ended. In the 13th, Aurelia nearly died to Brunhild. In the 14th, the rebels had some strange movement patterns and Aurelia nearly died to Mitsurugi. And in the 15th, Eunice died to Voldo. I will need her to take down Girardeau, but Aurelia promptly avenged her and then went on to perfect Yoshimitsu as well. Finally, I did not want Iris to fight Girardeau, but she managed to defeat him. Back in the 16th nightmare.
Some things can only be...
Battle 1, fight! Alright, I'm getting punked! Battle 2, fight!
Aurelia destroyed the Death Tower. Completely solo. Yep. Then she nearly died to Irene, and it was this close call that convinced me to send one of the other girls after Kagami. At this point I cannot risk losing Aurelia, and Min Lien brought home the victory. We officially go to Chronicle 17! So, in the 17th, my immediate thoughts were, well, now what? I have never gotten this far in a Nuzlocke before, so I have no tried and tested tactics to utilize for the following specific chronicles. Meaning if I mess up now, I will have to redo all the progress from the previous 16 chronicles, including the Death Tower. All I can do is hope the Yoshimitsu cheese works on everyone else as well. So anyway, Min Lien perfected Tira, Aurelia nearly died to Eurydice, and apparently in every tower that has the smash effect, this effect is applied to both the hostiles and you, even though only your warrior has the weakening visual effect on them. Finally, Iris fought Leraye, because I wanted her to gain EXP. She nearly died, but she didn't. Upon entering Chronicle 18, I thought that Aurelia already had enough levels, so I need to level up the others. Iris fought Oka and nearly died, and while Min Lian handled Abelia's main attacking force, it must be Aurelia who defeats Siegfried due to his tower effect, making it possible to kill me from full HP in just 3 attacks. But I sent in Iris instead. This was not done in error though, as both her and Aurelia used Soul of Yoshimitsu, and thus losing Iris would not be as horrible as losing Aurelia, who is many levels above her. Then Iris defeated Siegfried. Next, while I usually like to draw as many Grendel into Abelia's stronghold as possible, so that I can fight them all with the Guardian Force effect, in a Nuzlocke such tomfoolery would be ill-becoming of an actual run, so I tried to be strategic. And it worked. Somewhat. I lured them out of their own towers that had very dangerous effects for me, and while one Grendel did actually reach the stronghold, I managed to intercept the other one in a field battle. Finally, Aurelia defeated both Abelia and the one runaway Grendel with relative ease. Chronicle 19 begins, and everyone after Ende! Aurelia defeated him. Also, as I was progressing through the map, for some reason, Yu Liang didn't move from her coin collector tower, even though we started attacking and eventually took over the tower that always causes her to start moving in to defend it the moment it takes any damage. This could imply that her movement does not depend solely on that tower being attacked, but also on how many people in total are actively attacking it, since the enemy AI is a bit more conditional than I originally thought. Well, if my assumption is correct anyway. Anyway, Min Lian died to Yu Liang and was avenged by Aurelia. Then Iris nearly died to Du Feng, but leveled up in a field battle against Abigail. A little while later, Aurelia defeated Nightmare and earned her 100th victory. Then, as we moved onwards, Chizuma tried to take advantage of the all-unblockable tower effect, but we can't have that, so we stepped back a little, lured him entirely outside of said tower, and beat him in a field battle instead. And we were finally able to make use of the paralysis effect ourselves once we occupied the monument from Hilda. Also, the textures on the floor in front of Strive's castle are misaligned. Chronicle 20. This is the final challenge in the whole Nuzlocke, and although it is not the most difficult Chronicle, underestimating my opponents at this stage would certainly lead to doom, so let's take it nice and easy. Iris perfected Belaf, and then went on to defeat 6 more warriors, before finally meeting her match in Ixion, who absolutely obliterated her. Still, she put Aurelia in a very good position, with just 4 hostiles remaining plus the Emperor himself. And she started off very good. She perfected Ixion even. And she perfected Acacia as well. She further and really perfected Agave, but she did manage to hit me once close to the end of the match, unfortunately. The battle against Miriel looked bad at the beginning, but then she kinda just gave up and stopped trying to counter my cheese. Hey man, I ain't gonna complain. But finally, it is time. The man who attacked her country stands before her, Strafe Grandol, and it is time to see which one of us is the better Nuzlocker.
You really stand out too much. The people love you. Such an irritating sight to behold. But now, I regret not killing you myself when I had the chance.
Final battle, fight!
Aurelia killed Strife Grandol and ended his reign of terror. Not only that, but she also successfully brought the Nuzlocke itself to a close. Indeed, the challenge is actually conquered. Can finally go grab some food.